Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to another Total War Rome 2 Empire Divided Gallic Rome playthrough. And today we will be launching the invasion of Britannia against the Caledonii, the remnants of the Celts that have once dominated Britain, and in this campaign specifically they again dominate Britain, so it's not so much Roman Britannia as it is again Celtic Britannia. And we must do away with their little independence spout, and do away with it we shall. And the task force the task force of Gallic Rome will take care of it. 3 armies, one of them has Gallic legionaries, one of them, the Empire's army, is a little mixed, mostly cohorts, and another army full of cohorts. We have silver level 2 armor and level 2 weapons ready to go, so all that's left is for us to take Dunham as a base of operations and start where we are supposed to start. Take over the entire island, and for the time being we won't be bothering with the Germans or the Germanics or whatever, however you want to call it. Let's go fulfill the prophecy, and let's edge onward toward Britain. Let's move ever closer. Next turn we'll be able to, actually this army can probably move a little bit closer. Could we even go on land? Would that be possible? No, we won't be able to, but let's make it a sea assault, why not? Don't get the chance to do many of those. Wealth from industry, that's probably not necessary. Let's get a shrine to, let's get a shrine to Minerva for the research rate, and although plus wealth from culture, well, we do have a cultural building, the archives. So actually, yeah, let's get a shrine to Minerva just to balance things out, and let's do something like this then. Yes, okay. Let's build up our settlements. Let's make a ton of moolah, and let's get a move on with the capture of Britannia. Ultimately, that's what we are here for: to reconquer what was once Roman and has been lost, unfortunately, to the dastardly Caledonii. The Celts are back in action, and we will make very short work of them. Let's actually, where's the port? There's the port. Declare war. Yes, indeed, we will lose a lot of trust with diplomatic. Our diplomatic stance will take a bit of a hit, but no matter. The Dunham is back in our hands. Let's build a Field of Mars here, a Procurator's Villa, and let's get consecrated ground going as well. We could also make our way towards the Boracum, or we should be able to make our way towards the Boracum. Yeah, there we go. Again, very quick work. No real enemy here at all. There's nothing here stopping our advance at all. This will be a farming settlement, and this army over here can make its way towards Iska. Yeah, Iska, that should be the name, yeah. And yeah, well, that's a relatively decent start, I would say. Nothing too fancy, just a little bit of an assault. Who doesn't like a bit of an assault every once in a while, eh? But no Caledonian armies to speak of yet. Nothing. Haven't seen any Celtic armies trying to prevent us from capturing what is rightfully ours, that being Roman Britain. We'll obviously go even further than Roman Britain. We will capture the entirety of the British Isles. Here we go, there we go. The agent spam. So they don't have any armies, but they have a lot of agent spam. I see how it is. There's a bit of a fierce army at Iska, so it might be pertinent to actually go and reinforce the army that's about to head in and have a bit of a fun time with them. Okay, so this army, we lost one Roman skirmisher. No matter, we'll get mercenary archers and make our way towards Iska. And a lot of Celtic levy, some archers, some bows, some whatchamacallit, some assault raiders, and I think let's actually have a bit of a fight. These are Gallic legionaries, so we'll see the might of Gallic Rome in action. So let's have a bit of a fight. Alright, here we are on the battlefield. Finally a battlefield for this campaign. Finally a bit of some battle action. Here we see our Gallic legionaries. They look absolutely magnificent with the reskin mod, the Restitutor Orbis reskin mod. They look absolutely wonderful. They look cool as hell. So yeah, what about the light Roman skirmishers? They look pretty good. I really love this style of helmet. This Roman helmet, I don't know what it is about it, but I really like the look of it. It looks so protective. Let's take a look at the mercenary Highland archers. They're hiding now, but they're archers. Basically they're Celtic archers, same as you could see in Rome 2 vanilla. Nothing too fancy or out of this world. So let's make a straightforward assault. There should be nothing too fancy. Unfortunately, the enemies have all decided to go on boats. I wonder where they will land. So they're landing where? Over here. So let's march over there. Let's make it a straightforward battle where we will crush all comers. All enemies of Rome will be crushed beneath the heels of our legionaries, and that will do us good. Yeah, that'll do us very good. But where are they going? They are, looks like they're disembarking right over here, so we'll have a nice wonderful battle right on the beaches of Britannia. That'll be a little bit of a reverse invasion, I would say. We're the ones who were supposed to be invading, but anyway, time to make a stand against the fierce Celts, the Celtic menace, as we will shortly be calling them. They have Celtic archers coming in. Let's make short work of them. Let's march forward with our entire retinue. Yes, let's do something like this, and these units can march into the city, and our skirmishers will go in the middle like so. Our general, he can stay back a little bit. No need to get in yet. Have some Celtic horsemen. Okay, so they do have some cavalry. A little bit on the see-through side, however. A little transparent, some transparency action going on, but they do have some cavalry. I suspect that these are the cavalry that were supposed to start on the ships, but instead oh, here we have some hidden units that we managed to, some Celtic sword band, hidden units that we managed to get around. So here we have some painted warriors. Let's see how they look. Painted warriors look fearsome as hell with their little shields, but will they be able to stand against our mighty legionaries? We'll see about that one. Here we have some Celtic levy, and our assault against the city center is proceeding very nicely. Our Gallic legionaries are making short work of any enemies that we might encounter. And let's march forward a little bit. Let's make these lines a little more cohesive. Okay, our skirmishers are doing one hell of a good job right here. Let's actually use the archers over here for some counter archer action against the enemy. One of our units has used all its ammunition. That'll be this unit. Yes, that'll be this unit. Used all of their pila. That's completely fine. Pila is supposed to be used. They're making a sort of a very piecemeal attack here against our units, which is mighty unfortunate. I was hoping for a grand beach battle, a little bit of some defensive fight on the beaches. That would have been very cool, but we are in fact the attackers in this battle, let's not forget. So maybe they should have reinforced the center over here. They do have some chariots though, armored chariots. You don't see those too often in Empire Divided, or basically not at all in Empire Divided. These are very much sort of gone by the wayside technology during the mid 3rd century. Definitely, you don't see that too often. Here is some Celtic levy making a little bit of an assault, and here the enemy might be finally making a little bit of an attack. Let's kill their general, however, and let's capture the city center after that. The enemy finally disembarking a majority of their units. Took them long enough. Not entirely sure what the exact issue was. And here we can't even attack them, so let's attack whichever forces we can attack. Let's make a bit of a push against the incoming invasion, and let's run these fools down. And we have some Celtic levy, and there's a victory. A pretty decent victory, I would say so. Very easy battle. Could have also resolved, but I wanted to see some battle action. There we go. A decisive victory. We lost 54 men and we killed almost 2,000. Let's raise. Completely annihilated that army over there. Iska is ours, as it should be. And this will be, let's build meeting place over here to keep the, actually what we could do is forget about the consecrated ground over here. Forget about the meeting place over here. Let's build a consecrated ground over here, and let's build an aqueduct instead. Yes, that'll be much better, I think. And well, ultimately, we've made quite good headway in the process of reconquering Britannia. The Emperor's army from Camulodunum can start making its way towards Mordiunion, which will be, or today's Wales, more rather. And we'll make sure that we capture that. Then afterwards, the army from Eboracum can make way towards Stanwick, and ultimately towards Eildon. And then all that's left is to capture Albana. And the Britannic Isles will be ours. Britannia itself, after we capture Wales, is going to be ours. It's everything's coming up Gallic Rome, so to say. We have another army. This army, I think, can start making its way towards Arsenium. Yes, Arsenium. And together with the army that's still stationed here, let's actually upgrade them all to have level 2 armor and weapons. That's army that's stationed here, Legio 4 Minerva. They can continue the relentless capture of Germania, the pacification of Germania. We should always keep in mind that that's something that we need to take care of, and that's always something that should remain at the back of our mind, that we need to pacify Germania, because the Germanics in Empire Divided can be quite fierce opponents. They have pretty good their armies have pretty good stats, surprisingly. Even though, well, the Goths were obviously quite fearsome, but we have actually researched colony restrictions. When you work the land, there are no real reasons to travel far away from it, are there? Okay, so let's check what we researched. We will research colony restrictions, which gives us a bunch of upgrades for cattle and farms and stuff like that. So let's continuing on. Here we see another army, and this time we should probably auto-resolve this fight. There's no reason why Well, we should deal with it. The Emperors... Oh, we lost one unit of cohorts. Never mind. But we'll replace that fairly easily. And let's actually replace that with... actually, let's wait for the upgrade to the... we say the Queen, okay. But let's wait for the upgrade to the Fields of Mars. So the Emperor's army over here is going to be resting for a while. The army in Boracum can make its way towards Stanwick. I don't see any army in there, so let's quickly capture it. There's no reason not to. Stanwick is ours. Again, consecrated ground, aqueduct, and public forum. Maybe I should build a public forum over here. I'll think about it. And in Mod Union, let's get some. A meeting place just to keep the public order in check. Let's get some cattle pens, some fields, and let's make this a farming settlement. We are currently researching agricultural investment, which takes 1,000 per turn to research, but we can afford it. And plus 80% wealth from all agriculture, in all regions, which is very beneficial to us because I tend to build a lot of agricultural buildings. But with the capture of Britannia, we also captured the... Let me just quickly click on Iska. We captured Stonehenge, which gives plus 10% civil research rate and minus 20% public order penalties due to local presence of foreign cultures, which is going to be mighty useful when we go into this mess. When we go into the mess that is the Balkans, with all kinds of cultures. We have the Roxolani, we have Goths, we have Marcomanni, we have some Latin rebels, again Marcomanni, again Roxolani. There are the Lydians over here, although I think, yep, their settlement is under siege, probably by the Goths or by someone like that. And then when we go into the against Palmyra, although Palmyra seems, yeah, Palmyra is basically gone, so it's the Sassanids over here. Yeah, the Sassanids are going to be our late game boss in this campaign. When we go into the Middle East and recapture what Palmyra once owned, that's going to be another headache as well when it comes to cultures. And then let's not forget about Africa. But maybe our wonderful Hispania Citerior puppet vassal is going to take care of that. Here we see some Maori. So the Maori are making moves against our vassal. But, well, we'll see how things develop. We'll see how things go. But for the time being and for this part, I think... this is basically good enough. Yeah. Well, anyway, I want to thank you, Kings, for watching, and I'll see you next time.